Hey everyone, good afternoon. We're here with NFL Draft Diamonds. I'm Nick DeMeglio. We're here with Justice Henley, Delaware defensive back, cornerback. He's a NFL 2023 draft prospect. We're going to ask him some questions here today, and get to know him a bit better. How are you doing, Justice?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, so let's start off if you want to walk us through a little bit of your journey and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm Justin. My name's Justin Henley. Just told you that. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Um, I went to North Penn High School, a little outside of Philadelphia, and then I've been playing football all my life, so it's always been my best hobby, my best sport. I always found myself, just having a lot of love for the game. Um, I started playing football when I was about 6 years old, so it's been my life forever. Been playing for years. I got I got a scholarship to Delaware out of high school, and yeah, I found myself here. And 5 years later, here we are. So
Okay, okay. Something I guess I didn't mention earlier. Me and Justice were actually former teammates at Delaware. So it's nice to kind of have it go full circle. And now, obviously he's getting ready for the draft and everything like that. Yeah. So I know you played receiver a little bit at North Penn. Do you think? I mean, that kind of helped you kind of at all with kind of how you made the transition to playing corner in college and kind of knowing and having a feel for how things work on the offensive side of this field as well.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel like playing receiver back in high school, it helped me a lot with my ball skills, and I feel like that's the probably the best part of my game right there, is being a corner who can go up and catch the football and has great ball skills. I also know playing corner, I use that as my advantage because I played receiver before, so I know what the receivers what they kind of think like and what they want to do. So definitely helps a lot in my game. I use it to my advantage a lot.
Okay. So I know you were saying obviously your ball skills is probably like one of your I guess bigger strengths or whatnot. Is there anyone in the league that you kind of currently like, I don't know, look up to or kind of craft your game after?
Yeah. I honestly I look a lot. I'm a big Eagles fan. I
Okay.
don't play at the next level if I'll still be an Eagles fan, but so I watch a lot of Darius Slay. I feel like him and my game are very similar in ways. I think he has great technique, great footwork, which I feel like I have also, and he's also good with the ball and he catches it well. He's been an all pro multiple years in his career, and I really feel like that's somebody who I can compare myself to that's playing currently.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan too, and I mean it's great. I guess that they locked them up, kind of kept them in
Yeah,
town, so he didn't leave. But
right.
Um, so kind of getting back to your time at UD and stuff, kind of, what was that experience like? How did you enjoy your time at UD? And then also, you being from Philly, it must have been nice kind of obviously not being from Delaware, but close enough where you probably could have family come up to games and everything like that.
Yeah, that was going to Delaware. That definitely a big part of my decision when I picked the school because it was close to home, and I know I wanted my family to be able to, come to games and see me play as much as they could because like they've been coming to all my games all their life, and I feel like if I was to go somewhere far away, it would just be harder and make it harder for them to come see me. So that was a big part of my decision in coming here and coming to UD. Also, um, I enjoyed every moment at UD. It was hard when we lost this year in the playoffs against South Dakota State. It was kind of heartbreaking because I knew I would never play again at that university, and I really enjoyed my time there. Probably my favorite memory at UD was in the spring season when we made it to the national semifinal, and just that whole run that we went on, going undefeated the whole regular season and making it to the semifinal. I had the best time of my life with some of my best friends, so that was pretty cool.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, obviously Delaware's pretty multiple. The last like 2 years, I guess, under Coach Rojas, it was more like a 3-2-6, and then before that, it was a little different. But While you were at Delaware, do you want to kind of talk about how you were utilized in the defense and everything like that?
Yeah. So, um, really, how I feel I was utilized and how my coaches looked at it, it was really just, they put me out there on the island. They told me to go cover this guy. No help. You got him to yourself, man to man, whatever. That was most of what I did almost every play, playing straight man on number one receiver. And the other 10 guys just did what they did. So it was challenging at times, but I was always up to the challenge, and I enjoyed that my coaches and my teammates put that faith in me to go out there and cover the best guy on the opposing team, one on one without much help. So that's basically how I was utilized, really.
Okay. So was it more or less kind of man to man on your side and then the rest of the field was zone, or kind of
Yeah.
what was that?
So it was sort of like a quarters look, but the quarters was typically like a modified man situation, and I started off my career at UD being lined up to the boundary side, where is the short field, and I was sticking number receiver. Then towards the end of my career, I got moved to the field where I was sticking the number one receiver out there, in more open space by myself. So it ended up being me and Ked a lot, my safety to my side, playing a lot of man to man on 1 and 2. So
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. And then kind of when you're like getting ready for a game, typical game week, what are you looking for when you study film? Anything specific or?
A lot of times I watch the receivers and watch their tendencies and how they do things and what they do when they're lining up, and when they're going to run a specific route, where they line up at, when they drop their hips, at how many yards, the types of routes they run, the offense they play in. So a lot of times I look at their tendencies. It helps me a lot get to know the receiver I'm going against during the week.
Gotcha. Okay. And then kind of, I guess, getting back into kind of things that you offer to a team or a franchise, anybody who's looking at you or evaluating you. Obviously, you bring value probably on a special teams unit. Obviously, anybody who's probably looking into you has seen that you've blocked several kicks in your college career. What type of value do you think you'll bring to us, not just a defense or anybody who kind of brings you into their team or franchise, but special teams as well?
Yeah, so I'm a guy, unselfish teammate kind of guy. I have no problem playing special teams. I enjoy it. I'm one of those guys that's going to ask the coach, I want to be on, can I be on this special teams unit? Can I be on this special teams unit? Like you said, I blocked multiple kicks off the edge in college. So I feel like I'm useful in that. I can run down on kickoff, make a tackle, run down on punt and make a tackle. So it's just, teams like bringing in guys that they know can play special teams, and I feel like I'm athletic enough and I'm a good enough player to be able to have an effect on special teams. So
Gotcha. In terms of the block and the kicks, what do you is that more you just timing it or kind of the first step? You have a good first step or?
I feel like I have a good first step, but it goes into the constant like study of the film of the team. So
Okay.
like watch when do they snap the ball? Do they go on the tap when they tap the ground, or is it a silent cadence or whatever they do? I just try to figure it out, and as the game goes along, I continue to keep mental notes in my head, and then I time it up based off that. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so I mean, if somebody throws on the film, a scout, an evaluator, your defensive tape and whatnot, what do you think some of the best attributes or traits are going to see of you?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like my ball skills play a big part of my game. I'm a type player a corner that is gonna, not only be in good position to make a play, but I'm also gonna make the play when the play comes. I feel like I can catch a lot of interceptions, bat a lot of passes with my athleticism, my length. And I feel like I'm also a pretty good tackler at the corner position. I don't feel as if I miss many tackles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think something just as important to talk about, like obviously you want to talk about what your strengths are, but what would you say like a weakness or two is that you have in your game that you're kind of that you're addressing or kind of working to improve on?
Yeah. So I feel as if playing the man more. When I'm in man coverage, it's harder to get your eyes back on the quarterback, and I just feel like maybe playing through the man more when I'm not in zone coverage. I need to be just as good as I am in man coverage, playing the ball and playing the receiver. So I feel like I can improve on that. Maybe when to turn my head and when not to. So that's a part of the
Okay.
game. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, I mean, obviously, we kind of talked a little bit about your journey through high school from growing
Yep.
up in Philly and everything. But I mean, is there thing specific that you think makes your journey or kind of your kind of path to this point in your life different
Yeah.
than other prospects?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not as much different as other prospects, but I feel as if like throughout my whole entire career, high school, college, I've just been counted out a lot and doubted. And I'll just continue to keep pushing and working hard and proving those doubters wrong. And I feel like a lot of people can look at me and say, like, dang, he's still going, like he's still doing his thing after I didn't think he would make it this far. I feel like I just keep pushing, persevering through and continuing to work my hardest and proving people wrong. So
Okay.
yeah.
Um, and then, obviously Delaware's pro day is next week. Is there kind of anything specific that you're kind of, personal goals or anything like that that you have for yourself going into the pro day next week?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I want to run a good 40 time. That's the biggest thing in my
Yeah.
head after running fast 40. But a goal of mine, not a goal of mine, but something that I really had to work on was my strength, my upper body strength. So like before, like in college, I was barely benching 2 reps of the 225. So and these last 3 months, I've just been doing all the combine drills and just working out and lifting and things. And I really feel as if my strength really improved. So I would like to get a solid number on the bench press reps on
Okay.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess obviously you kind of brought up your prep that you've been doing the last couple months.
Yeah.
You want to tell everyone kind of where you've been training at and how that's been going?
Yeah. So I've been training at level 40 in King of Prussia in Pennsylvania. So with Greg Garrett and Dev. So there are a lot of guys from my area. That's where they go to train. Guys, they've trained a lot of guys that are known players in the NFL, and not only NFL players, they have NBA players, they have professional boxers like Danny Garcia, NBA players like Cam Reddish, have Kyle Pitts, who went fourth in the draft a couple of years ago. He trains there. So it's a lot of, Will Fuller, Sharif Floyd, a lot of guys like that, guys that made a name for themselves, that they level 40 really put them on the map. So that's where I've been at, working
Okay.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them. I know like they're a pretty big facility, at least on the Northeast and everything like that. And they obviously work with a lot of guys coming out of Philly,
Mhm.
and then kind of go on into the league or whatnot. So that's great. So kind of in terms of, obviously Delaware, you played there for several years. I mean, anybody there that is still kind of playing that you want to give a shout out to or somebody that people should keep an eye out for, or I don't know, the next year or next 2 seasons or
Shout out to Shoes Brinkley and Shane Thrift, man. They're two corners that were behind me that are going to be playing a lot this year. I feel like they're really going to make a lot of noise this year and make a name for themselves. So they're two great players that are young, and they're going to have great careers at Delaware and hopefully follow my footsteps.
gotcha. Yeah, it's like I don't know, obviously like there's a lot of guys, especially from like, the defense at least this year that are kind of moving on, trying to get into the professional side of things and keep playing. So it's like it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a lot of young guys and stuff, but I'm excited to see it too. So
Sure.
um, so obviously, I know you kind of being a DB, you've been at Delaware, like you said, for the last 4 or 5 years. Most notably, I guess Nigel Hill kind of came out. He, got into a mini camp and played some over the summer with the Commanders, and now he's in the XFL. Do you think, maybe outside of Nigel, was there anybody else that kind of, you kind of picked their brain or kind of, kind of seek their advice when you first got into college or kind of helped you grow into the player you are?
Yeah, so Nasir Adderley, he obviously went to Delaware. Had just retired a couple days ago. He played for the Chargers. He went second round. When I was a freshman, he was a senior. So when I got there, he's also from Philly. He's from my area. So when I got there, I was cool with. I was real close with him. Picked his brain a lot because I knew he was going to eventually get to the level that I wanted to be at, and that was a guy that I looked up to, and he gave me a lot of knowledge on the game. And also Tenny Adewuzi, he plays in the XFL. Also, he played corner. He was the guy that I came in and I was backing him up. So he helped me a lot. He showed me a lot in the ropes. Those are just guys that, I really appreciate. Nigel, like you said, they taught me a lot, and I probably wouldn't be where I am today without those guys showing me, when I first
Yep.
got.
Gotcha. I guess outside of football, like, is there any fun, interesting hobby or like, I don't know, anything like something I guess a lot of people wouldn't know about you that you kind of do when you're obviously not training, playing the game and
Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. A lot of people don't know that
okay.
about. I'm a big Marvel fan. I watch all the movies. I read comic books sometimes. I know everything, almost everything there is to know about Marvel. If somebody was asking me a question, I don't think there's any really questions that I couldn't answer for them. So I'm a big
Okay.
Marvel, big Spider-Man guy. Yeah,
So Spider-Man's kind of your favorite character out of like the Marvel kind of
yeah,
series?
yeah. That's been my favorite superhero, fictional character since I was little. I always
Okay.
dressed up and for Halloween and all that. Still have Spider-Man mask and things like that around my room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I know like obviously, kind of prolong your career as long as possible. I know you had an interest in going into like sports broadcasting and stuff like that down the line. I mean, any specific sport or anything like that or
I'm a big people see that I obviously play football. I've been playing football all my life, but I'm also a big basketball fan. I think
okay.
knowledge of basketball. I was never really as good in basketball as I was football. So that's clearly why I played football in college, not
Yeah.
basketball. But I feel like I have a lot of good knowledge of the basketball game, and that's if I was to go into sports broadcasting, I would definitely that would be definitely a sport I would love to cover one day. So
Okay.
yeah.
You big March Madness or more NBA?
More NBA and more NBA. I don't
Okay.
watch college basketball during the regular season, but I've been watching the tournament games. They've been great. But
Okay.
I'm more of an NBA type of guy. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, we'll start wrapping up. Do you, I mean, obviously everybody kind of handles challenges differently in life. And then obviously on the football field, how do you handle things you encounter, different struggles, adversity, stuff like that?
So, just continuing to churn through things. There's always gonna be tough times, and you just gotta look at it like tough times don't last. And I just keep my head down, keep working, keep pushing through life. Pray on things. I look to my family, look to my friends for advice, and I have a great supporting cast. I feel like, and if I have problems or issues or I'm going through something, I feel like I can always turn to them and look for advice, and they'll help me through anything. And just praying on things. And my motto has always been tough times don't last. So if I'm going through something, I'm gonna get through it eventually. So just continue to keep my head down.
That's a great quote kind of live by. You're right. Like, I mean, no matter what you're going through, you just kind of stay positive and, I mean, if you're at the bottom and the only way is up type of thing. So,
Right.
okay, so let's kind of finish up and what I guess give a one last pitch or kind of your last thoughts to any scouts or evaluators that might be watching this video and why they should take a chance on you or why they should consider bringing you onto their team or franchise in the next coming months.
Yeah. So I feel as if the proof is in the pudding. If you turn my film on, you'll see that I'm a great football player. I have great knowledge of the game. I have great instincts for the game. I'm a work hard. I'm not gonna let anybody outwork me. I'm a I can play the game of football. That's really it. That's my biggest pitch. If you take a chance on me, you're gonna get 100% effort. You're gonna get somebody who may surprise you. You probably didn't think I was as good as I am, and I'm just I'm gonna make plays and I'm gonna keep working. So
Okay.
yep.
Appreciate having you on, Justice. I think this video, gives everybody a good perspective about like who you are, kind of who you are, maybe off the field, and then also like more about you as a person.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, wishing you the best of luck. Obviously coming up with your pro day, and then kind of the rest of your journey.
Thank you, appreciate it.